This is about living human beings living for the living planet, taking from the living planet what it wants to offer us, not by force, making sure that this living planet heals so that it can go on to abundantly give till it can. It is true that we all have to make a difference. All of us.
One small person can make a change, and I've seen this today in all the initiatives, and I think you're an inspiration. Your work is not just limited to your own geographical position, but through the Wafa, you've made it available for everyone else, and we can only do it together, and you're not alone, and I'm so glad that I've been given this privilege to serve, and I hope to be able to give back as much as I've learned today. So thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wafa Awards is a unique global award platform that gives recognition to people across the globe who are making pioneering initiatives that are low-tech but can create global impact by scaling them. Over the years, Wafa has grown its database of global network of proven sustainable low-tech project solutions that assist local communities in gaining access to clean water, clean air, and nutritious food.
welcome to this year's Water, Air and Food Awards 2023 live stream from a beautiful garden in Copenhagen. I'm Tina Lindgren, the Executive Chairperson and CEO of Water, Air and Food Awards. Your Royal Highness, Tengku Amir Shah Ibn Sultan Sharafuddin, Idris Shah Al High, Crown Prince of Selangor, Malaysia. Dignitaries, members of the business community, ambassadors, students, NGOs, and all of the wonderful guests that are watching this live stream all over the world. This year's finalists show ingenuity, tenacity, and entrepreneurship. They truly are exceptional pioneers who can give us all hope that there is solutions out there who can actually seriously contribute to a much better climate for all of us and to many other communities. They are special, they have a huge potential, and yes, they will really show us how they solve the access to clean water, clean air, and nutritious food. Your Highness, the stage is yours. Please grace us with your opening speech. Thank you.
Hello everyone. It is my pleasure to address you at this opening of Wafa Awards 2023. For this year's awards, I have been informed a total of 198 applications from 40 countries were received. Having gone through a rigorous selection process spanning a period of more than 9 months, the selection panel, comprising of international jurors who are experts in their own fields, completed the selection of 12 finalists, 3 each representing water, air, food, and youth climate. I am informed these 12 finalists have demonstrated outstanding creativity, persistence, and resilience, emerging from devastating conditions to restore access to clean water, clean air, and nutritious food. They are all bottom-up solutions using local resources and local ingenuity and ownership, overcoming all odds, all towards a healthy, sustainable environment. They are all silent heroes. A special mention on Wafa Youth Climate. It was created as a platform to encourage younger generation to take matters of climate change in their own hands, to bring solutions not only in their own communities, but also convey a message of hope to youth all around the world. I take this opportunity to extend my commendations to the outstanding efforts of all 198 applications for their initiatives and efforts in their local communities. You truly have marked your presence amongst the people involved globally, driving inspiring initiatives locally for a sustainable environment and a better tomorrow. Not forgetting, I would like to congratulate the amazing Wafa team for their tireless effort for creating this stage to shine a light again on these environmental warriors. And my sincere congratulations in advance to the deserving winners of Wafa Awards 2023. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Highness. It was really inspiring to listen to you. And now I'd like to welcome Professor Catherine Richardson, who's the leader of the Sustainability Science Center at Copenhagen University. It has really opened my eyes to listen to the observations that Professor Richardson has made. And I am so happy that she will share her observations with all of us with regards to how much human action is inflicting on the health of the planet. And also bridging this observation to the solutions, to the strength of our silent heroes, our award winners, who can actually really help restore the health of our precious planet, our dear home. Over to you, Professor Richardson.
Hi, it's a great pleasure to be here, and I want to congratulate everyone that's had anything to do with these Water and Food Awards. They're so important because, as we often hear, we're living in the Anthropocene. Now, what does Anthropocene mean? It means that time of the history, in the history of the earth for people. And it doesn't mean for people, it means where people and our activities are now so encompassing that they can change the entire state of the earth. Until now, it's only been changes in the geological part, for example, tectonic plates or volcanism or a meteor that comes in that changes conditions on Earth, or something in biology, like when photosynthesis emerged or green plants emerged, that completely changed the state of things on Earth. Now, humans can do it too. This is problematic because we don't know that humans can survive on this planet in a much changed state. We know very well that we can thrive in the kind of conditions that have been here on Earth for the last 10 to 12,000 years. That's the period we call the Holocene, and it's in that period that everything we associate with modern humanity has emerged. So we would be very silly to deliberately do something that could change the conditions on Earth. Therefore, we need to consider the Earth's resources as a bank account. It's just like our money. It's really all organisms live and thrive by using the Earth's resources. Humans are no different. All organisms are that way. But our demand for those resources is so great that we risk changing the conditions on Earth. When we talk about sustainable development, the environmental component is making sure that our demand for the Earth's resources is within the supply. The social part is how we share those resources. Now, right now, in many countries, in most developed countries, if everyone used resources the way we do, then it would require over four planets, and we're not going to get them, and we're not very good at sharing the Earth's resources either. So we have a very large work to do in order to become sustainable or have sustainable development in our societies. And therefore we've developed a new approach we call planetary boundaries, which is a scientific way of trying to identify what's the limit. How far can we go in terms of impacting the Earth resources? So then we go in and try, using scientific principles, to identify how far can we go? How much of this resource can we use without running the risk of changing the world around us? We need to be much, much more efficient in the way we're using the Earth's resources, and we need to decrease our demand for those resources. Humanity, that is to say, all human beings have a challenge because we have to manage our relationship with the Earth's resources at a global level. But we don't have and we don't want a global government. So this isn't going to happen top down. If we're going to get this management right, it's going to have to be from the bottom up. And that means local communities are going to have to participate. They're going to have to find the solutions that work where they are, because we're so many different cultures in so many different conditions that there is no magic button or bullet. There's no one solution that's going to solve this. So the challenge is out there for all of us, and the really exciting part about the Water, Air, and Food Awards is that it does go in and identify these local activities, these local projects that, under the conditions that the community is living under, make small contributions to achieving the vision we all have. And no single solution will deliver on the vision. It's only through a combination of many small solutions working together. And therefore I want to congratulate the winners here at the Water, Air, and Food Awards.
Thank you so much, Professor Richardson. Very enlightening. And now let's move on to the water category. Many of us have access to clean water every day. Many of us don't. It is our team's conviction that a dignified life starts with access to the basics. I'd like to welcome Water Grandmother Helen Lindmark Sami, Commissioner of Scandinavia, the People's World Commission on Flood and Drought. Over to you, Helen.
Thank you for inviting me to the Water and Food Awards to be the Speaker of Water. We all come from the waters, from different parts of the world. And it's so important that we inspire each other to find ways of sustainable solutions to live on this earth. Water is life, water is sacred, and life is sacred. We are water as human beings, the earth is water, the sky is water. It was amazing to read what all of these 4 communities in the world have done, as are the finalists now, to see how the movement of the energy of the sun can contribute the movement of the waters. How water is an educator for us, how it is a teacher, and how it teaches us beyond the words, by deeply listening, by deeply feeling into our primordial senses of who we are. I inspire you all over the world, wherever you are, to embrace the water, because the water is also protecting us. It's about food system, it's about health system, it's about education system, but it's also, from my perspective as a limit holder of water, it's about bridging the knowledge of the original structure of the waters. How did we live before with water? How did we embrace water? How did we contain with water? And how did we listen beyond the words that the water brings us through the different elements? So I wish you all the best, all the luck to all of your 4 finalists, and with my love and my blessing and my gratitude for what you're doing, what awareness you're bringing to the world by showing how we can do. The water is a reflection of our life. It's the outside reflection of our inside life. Thank you so much.
Now is the time to get familiar with the water finalists. They have been carefully selected from 198 applicants from all over the world, and everyone has had the opportunity to vote for their favorites. Let's see the results.
The Philippines, province of Negros Occidental. Reduced rainfall due to climate change and lack of government help meant that hill dwellers have to manually fetch an average of 40 litres of water a day from downhill. That's 1 to 2 kilometres. Most of the villagers are too poor to afford alternative water sources, and life without sufficient water leads to poor sanitation, skin and waterborne diseases, as well as malnutrition. The initiative from the Alternative Indigenous Development Foundation, AIDFI, aimed to supply water uphill for drinking, household use and to boost agricultural output in a way that would trigger further community development and promote environmental sustainability. Ram pumps need no external energy supply apart from the energy inherent in flowing water. AIDFI ram pumps are capable of pushing water 50 times higher for every meter drop of water. This is without emitting greenhouse gases. AIDFI established water associations, trained local technicians, and fostered community participation during construction and installation. At the end of the project, an official handover ensured true community ownership. The initiative has directly impacted 290,000 people. AIDFI has installed about 1,200 ram pump systems in 580 communities, increasing the amount of water available per person per day and decreasing the impact of waterborne illnesses. It's improving education and enhancing agricultural output. Installed pumps deliver together over 11 million litres of water per day. The innovation saves the environment some 8,000 tonnes of carbon dioxide yearly. Also, the initiative has trained over 1,100 local village technicians and employs 33 people with regular, fulfilling green jobs. Takeo Province, Cambodia. The community around Ang Chung Primary School did not have access to clean water. They had to consume water from plastic bottles that ended up littered on the roadsides. Children lacked education on safe water usage and hygiene, and would urinate and defecate in local fields, forests, and by the roadside. Unsafe water caused waterborne diseases that were responsible for most of the deaths of children, while many other children had to miss school days due to sickness. Adult residents felt disempowered as they were also affected by waterborne diseases, and they experienced low work productivity in the fields, markets, and other workplaces. Metamorphic International set out to empower locals to create an inclusive project tailored to their particular needs as informed by community consultations. They helped install water harvesting from school rooftops for the school latrines. A water filter was also installed in every classroom, and now 612 students and 17 teachers all have access to latrines and clean drinking water for the first time. Metamorphic offered a one-year water hygiene curriculum for students and trained locals on community development. The initiative directly impacted 15,000 people, and people are now, as they have their own source of clean water, not buying bottled water anymore. Waterborne diseases have reduced, and child mortality rates have gone down by at least 50%. School and work absenteeism have also decreased by at least 30 and 20% respectively. Community residents have a more optimistic outlook on life, and average income has improved by 40%. The northwest region of Cameroon. In recent violence, dozens of people have been killed and injured. Children have been separated from their families. Whole villages have been burnt to the ground. As people try to escape, thousands have been displaced inside Cameroon. FAP forest and agroforestry promoters wanted to provide access to water for increased food, crop production for vulnerable, internally displaced persons. At the same time, They wanted to avoid carbon emissions from the use of diesel motor pumps. They also wanted to help internally displaced persons and smallholders increase their chances of a livelihood. The project was implemented in 4 subdivisions with a high number of displaced and vulnerable persons. Solar water pumps allow the farmers to harness sunshine to power the pumping of water throughout the day. Solar water pumps operate with 0 carbon footprints and are eco-friendly. The initiative started with 20 small holders, with 120 individual beneficiaries in 2016. By the end of 2019 and their award application, more than 600 households' capabilities were built on the use of solar water pumps, totaling more than 3,600 individuals. Many of the displaced persons have started market gardens and smallholder family poultry initiatives. A large proportion of these are owned by girls and women. The initiative has increased crop production with food security, environmental protection, poverty alleviation, and raised community values, empowerment, employment, and collaboration with government technical services and donors. Tanzania. People need wood for cooking and to boil water to make it safe. As they used more and more wood, forests started to deplete. They were walking further and further for water as removal of forests affected rainfall and hydrology. These endless trips to ferry water reduced the time available for women to engage in income-generating activities, and children, who also helped out, hardly had any time to play. The Mercy Project Foundation aimed to collaborate with locals to eliminate this struggle required to access water. Mercy offered locals rainwater harvesting tanks as an incentive to get them to cooperate to protect and conserve the environment. They received the harvesting tanks on the grounds that if they logged trees in the area after signing a contract, the organisation reserved the right to take back the tank. This initiative has directly impacted 100 people, and the locals, especially women and children, no longer have to fetch water from afar. The locals cooperated to plant more fruit trees, and there is less tree logging, as they now understand the ecological benefits of the forest. There are now more trees in Mercy protected areas, and the once arid areas now receive ample rainfall.
And the winner is Alternative Indigenous Development Foundation. The only way is up. Water for hill dwellers in Philippines. Congratulations!
The Alternative Indigenous Development Foundation won the Water Prize with 44% of the public vote. What's to appreciate about this initiative is that the foundation helped to organise the villagers in cooperatives. They trained people to use, maintain and repair the technology, and then they provided this very clever, sustainable technology for pumping water uphill. There's a lot to learn too from the foundation. With a little bit of help, but with a lot of knowledge and experience, and with some sustainable technology, it is possible to ensure that communities have water security. When they have water security, health, hygiene improve, but also irrigation and food security. Ensuring the security of the basics ensures that communities have a much better chance to thrive.
Thanks to the Wafa organization for appreciating the silent heroes, in our case for 8V in reaching the SDG 6, pumping water uphill to waterless communities.
Thank you to the public who made us a winner, and we hope that through this award we can serve more communities with water.
Thank you, Wafa!
And now we are going to watch the initiatives, the finalists of the air category. We all know how important it is to have access to clean air. It sustains us, it gives us life. We also know how terrible it is when we don't have access to clean air, when all we have access to is polluted air. Now, these initiatives will show us how they manage to clean the air in their local communities. And before we watch the videos of their projects, let's listen to Omar Hayat from Wafa's selection committee, who is an expert with regards to the importance of clean air. He is the trustee and director of Scott Bader Commonwealth. He is also responsible for the prestigious Gandhi Foundation International Peace Award. Over to you, Omar.
Hello. My name is Omar Hayat, and I'm here to present the air quality finalists. It is now pretty self-evident that air quality is important to all our well-being, both locally and globally. Air quality may sometimes require governmental or even intergovernmental support and collaboration, but some initiatives can be done locally. And so Wafa chose this category to highlight the initiatives being taken worldwide that improves air quality and also our understanding of how to do this. The two finalists shown here have been chosen from a host of other very worthy projects, and they all deserve recognition and support, and are remarkable in their own right. The two finalists are, the first of those is called the Forest of Memories. It is a UK-based initiative that brings high-tech mobile app digital technology and connects it to the oldest of technologies, that is, trees. The project has planted thousands of trees to offset carbon, and each tree is dedicated to a person who has passed away, initially during the COVID pandemic, but now not necessarily so. And the tree contains a digital memory of that person. The memory is revealed simply by pointing a mobile phone with the app at the tree. It is a wonderful initiative that offers increased biodiversity, accessibility, and allows people to reconnect with nature, and offers an open, safe space for reflection. It also provides local employment. The second finalist, Eco Green Africa, is a Nigerian-based recycling project. It helps to replace the practice of burning waste with recycling waste, and it's the first initiative of its kind in Nigeria. The initiative trains people, including governmental officials and workers, to set up and adopt recycling programs, and offers practical help in doing this, and also performs regular cleanup days. It teaches people the value of recycling and has an innovative cash for trash incentive to improve recycling. The initiative has recycled over 2 tons of waste and offers a way for poverty alleviation. Thank you very much.
Abuja, Nigeria. Prior to the initiative, there were no recycling programs, and the majority of Nigerians did not sort their waste. They burnt it instead, leading to air and water pollution, as well as adverse human health outcomes. Eco Green is a non-governmental organisation formed by young and vibrant civil servants across various federal ministries and agencies, as well as members from various countries in Africa. Eco Green set out to encourage Nigerian citizens to reduce, reuse and recycle in order to contribute to the protection of the country's environment. The initiative trained people, including employees of the Ministry of Environment, on how to correctly sort office garbage. Eco Green Africa organised cleanups, including activities for the 2021 World Cleanup Day in the city. This was in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Environment and the Swedish Embassy. Its plastic waste partnerships birthed Cash for Trash and Adopt a Restaurant recycling programs. Eco Green designed colour-coded waste bins and also a smart recyclable waste machine that collects and sorts recyclable waste. Also, for every recyclable waste deposited, the smart machine will print out a payslip for the Cash for Trash scheme. The initiative has directly impacted 80 people. Over 2 tons of recyclable waste has been successfully diverted from landfills, and contract work opportunities have been created, thus contributing to poverty alleviation. Runnymede, the United Kingdom. During the COVID-19 pandemic, people struggled to cope with the sudden grief of losing their loved ones. They felt isolated, helpless, and singled out. This affected their mental health and social interactions, as they had difficulty in coming to terms with their bereavement. Our heroes, CIC, started to plant trees for the souls lost to COVID-19 in the United Kingdom. This birthed the Forest of Memories. Each memory tree represents a loved one and has an associated digital profile on an app with content on the good they did in the world, who they were, and what they stood for. Memory trees are native broadleaf trees planted with careful consideration to increase biodiversity in the local area. The forest is inclusive and accessible by wheelchair. Groves of reflection within the forest represent the journey of life and societal issues which arose due to the pandemic, as well as information on charities working on these issues. The Forest of Memories has directly impacted 15,000 people, with over 2,000 memory trees planted and 6,000 active users of these trees. The initiative has created a safe space for reflection whilst offsetting 150,000 tonnes of carbon. The forest has provided green spaces for local housing developments, curated a historical record through the memory trees, and created new jobs locally that generate income for landowners and local councils.
And the winner in the air category is Eco-Green Africa, smart recycling in the workplace in Nigeria. Congratulations! Woohoo!
Eco-Green Africa won the public vote with 82% of all the votes in the air category. We can understand that as waste piles up, the first impulse is to burn it because it just disappears. Unfortunately, it goes into the air and can create health problems and other problems from pollution. There's a lot to learn from the Eco-Green initiative. The first one is that we should use several solutions at once, but also that waste can be valuable, and that if we connect to waste the power of the economic system, we can accelerate sustainability.
We want to express our deepest gratitude to the organizers of Wafa Awards for this incredible honor. Being recognized as the winner is a testament to the collective efforts of our dedicated team.
Thank you for celebrating us as heroes and recognizing the importance of environmental conservation.
Once again, on behalf of Eco-Green Africa, thank you for this incredible honor. Let's continue to create a world where our planet remains a sanctuary for generations to come.
And now is the time for the food category. We have 4 amazing finalists that you have the opportunity to watch. Before that, I invite Satish Kumar, founder of the Resurgence Trust, to share with us his experience and appreciation of water, air and food. Satish is an international author and speaker. He is also a peace pilgrim and a lifelong activist and has inspired global change for more than 50 years. He has devoted his life to campaigning for ecological change and regeneration and social justice. Over to you, Satish Kumar.
It is my great pleasure to say that Wafa, Water, Air, Food Award is one of the most outstanding contribution to our regenerative culture of the age. We are all dependent on water, and we need clean, fresh and refreshing water for all living beings, humans as well as animals and birds and plants and trees. And therefore, water is fundamental, and water is precious. Water is sacred. We can learn from water to flow. We can learn from water to quench the thirst of all living beings. Water does not discriminate against anyone. Whether you are a king or a beggar, whether you are a saint or a sinner, you drink water. And water will quench the thirst of anyone and everyone. And therefore, looking after water is our responsibility. In the same air, air looks after all of us. And if we pollute the air, we have to breathe it. And therefore, this climate change, global warming, carbon emission and pollution of the air, we have to stop that. And the same is with the food. Food is fundamental. And without food, we cannot live. All our technology, science, cars, computers, roads, aeroplanes, everything is icing on the cake. Food is the fundamental. But somehow we think the food we take granted. And we have to just have a technology and science and going to the moon and crossing across the world and flying and all that we have given much more importance. But Wafa reminds us that let's go back to the basics and let us see that our water, our air, our food are in good condition. They have integrity, they have freshness, and they are not polluted, they are not wasted. And these awards are given to those who are committing themselves at the grassroots level in the villages, in all kind of rural areas or urban areas, wherever they are, at the grassroots level movement. This movement is absolutely wonderful and amazing. I can only say that I'm so inspired with Wafa, and I'm so impressed with the Wafa, and I'm full of admiration for Wafa, and I wish that Wafa goes from strength to strength, year after year, awarding and rewarding and recognizing and celebrating the grassroots workers and activists who are looking after our water, our air, and our food. Thank you, Wafa, and thank you, the organizers of Wafa, and thank you for those who are receiving the award, because you have been the salt of the earth. You have been at the grassroots level doing things which are not in the headlines, which are not in the newspapers or radio or television, but you are silent and you are humble and you are active at the grassroots level. So I congratulate you and I wish you that you go from strength to strength. Thank you.
And now, the 4 finalists in the food category.
Sayaya village, Kenya. Lots of land owned by farmers in Sayaya village was uncultivated and lay idle due mainly to the farmers' lack of knowledge. This meant that people did not have enough to feed themselves and their families. Churches and charity organizations had worked in the area. They had come from Nairobi and given donations, only to leave after a while. Thus, there was nearly no real impact on the village, as trust was not built up with the local farmers. Momentum Trust sought to give funding to farmers in a way that puts food on their tables, earns them respect, and creates lasting impact. Momentum offered training in organic farming and nutrition to farmers and local cooperatives. They helped set up local savings and loan groups, as well as giving practical help with production of chia, which has high nutrition values. Momentum Trust, which moved to Kenya in order to live next door to farmers, has lifted many, from 1-acre farmers to entire families, out of extreme poverty with just training and lending of inputs like seeds and fertilizers. It has successfully logged a payback rate of 99%. The initiative has directly impacted 24,000 people, shown recorded interests in crop yield, and has provided more food and healthy nutrition for the locals. The farmers are now growing new crops and practicing crop rotation to improve their soils. Ahmednagar City, India. Ahmednagar City, India. In 2020, the long, drawn-out COVID lockdown created huge food and health challenges for city residents, affecting everyone, regardless of their status, class, or creed. Harriet Singh, his classmates and colleagues came together to respond to the pandemic. The group were running a tea and toast outreach to patients at the local hospital. They quickly expanded to start distributing food to residents, including roadside beggars and immigrant workers. Within a day of their initial outreach, they had received 350 food requests. This grew into Gaga Langar Siwa initiative, partnered with Ahmednagar Police. They formed a team to collect food from donors and to distribute it to those in need through forms on social media and via a phone helpline. A team of 65 volunteers divided the tasks of distribution, donations, collection, cooking, data management, publicity, and administration between them. They delivered food daily to registered individuals and those in need along the way, distributing packets of cooked food, water, and herbal immunity booster drinks. They also set up and ran 2 COVID care centres, partnered with Ahmednagar Municipal Corporation. Over 11,000 immigrant workers were supplied with food and water. The initiative impacted over 1 million people directly, distributing 575,000 food packets and 2,500 monthly grocery kits for families of 4. Many others have benefited from associated healthcare, transportation and child education schemes. Currently, the initiative for feeding the hungry is still going on for hospitals and needy people in Ahmednagar. Lagos, Nigeria. Rapid urbanization was causing neighborhood decay. In the suburb Agege, the population density is approximately 60,000 inhabitants per square kilometer, and poverty in Agege is manifest. 60% of the population in this area fall within the poverty bracket, and poor urban households spend about 90% of their small income on food, because they are mostly self-employed, making precarious livelihoods from petty trades or other low-level occupations. The initiative set out to reduce the level of hunger, poverty and employment. It set out to create a food and agricultural system that is managed and operated by family labour and helps to improve locals' quality of life, dignity and equity. The initiative trained women and youths to farm vegetables, snails and poultry. Households received starter kits containing seeds, soils, fertilizers, containers, poultry birds and snails. They were helped to set up farms for small crops and livestock farming operations. The family program trained and empowered over 250 beneficiaries to successfully establish snailery, poultry and backyard vegetable farms in 20 communities in Lagos, thus transitioning them from food insecurity to food security. There was an increase in women's participation and farm yields. The trainees have in turn trained about 400 other women in their different communities. Furthermore, the program and its landless farming approach has positive effects on the environment and as such has prevented likely environmental degradation. Kanzangula district in Zambia. Most communities in the district are in remote rural areas and they depend on subsistence farming as their main source of income. Severe drought perished crops and brought devastating hunger. Many villagers, widows and orphans without food, relied on handouts from neighbours. Farmers had to sell their livestock at vastly reduced prices to buy maize and vegetables to feed their families. Communities desperate for money to buy food were also cutting down trees to produce charcoal for sale. The founder of the butterfly tree started raising funds and awareness with the aim of getting food directly to the people to alleviate their hunger as quickly as possible. Butterfly Tree provided maize and other foods to households. For schools and communities lacking access to safe drinking water, they dug wells and boreholes connected to solar-powered water reticulation systems. In schools, water is pumped to large tanks for food production. Maize, sorghum, millet and vegetable seeds were made available to schools for sustainable feeding programs, especially to cater for pupils that have to walk long distances to school. Training for women in honey, mango, vegetable and poultry production, as well as business management, has alleviated hunger and improved the quality of life for 600 women and their families. The initiative has directly impacted 60,000 people. Its food donations have prevented a famine for 20,000 households, and boreholes installed in 5 schools provide safe water for 4,500 pupils and teachers.
And the winner in the food category is Lagos Food Bank Initiative, Family Farming Program in Nigeria. Congratulations! Ta-da!
The Lagos Food Bank won the food category with 50% of the public vote. What we can really appreciate about this initiative is that they started from the values of dignity and equity. From these values of dignity and equity, the initiative helped people create food from almost nothing, with landless farming. They helped them set up family farms, and with seeds and fertilizer, they helped them get a yield really early to achieve food security. I think that we can learn from the Lagos Food Bank is that it's important that we start all of our initiatives understanding and valuing human dignity. I think also that we can see how nature gives us many, many free gifts. And if we can work together with kindness and with innovativeness, that we can harness these free gifts to ensure food security, even in the most challenging situations.
Hello, greetings to the Wafa team, the general public and the finalists. This moment is an indescribable moment and a special occasion for myself and the entire team of Lagos Food Bank. I am highly encouraged and motivated by the acknowledgement of our efforts to support women through our backyard farming program to make them more self-reliant, more financially and food secure beneficiaries. On behalf of myself and the entire Lagos Food Bank team and the family farming team, I want to say a big thank you to the Wafa team for this recognition. We are most grateful.
One lit candle can light 1,000 more, and one small voice becomes a deafening roar. One who stood alone becomes a seed forever sown. One lit candle to call our own. Let's come to our senses come back to the heart and stop our defenses. It's a good place to start. Our voices must be heard if we're to save our Mother Earth. One lit candle can light 1,000 more, and one small voice becomes a deafening roar. One who stood alone becomes a seed forever sown. One lit candle to call our own. And I think of the children that we left behind, 'cause we did nothing to help them survive. Think of today and tomorrow to come, if they are nowhere to belong. One lit candle can light 1,000 more, and one small voice becomes a deafening roar. Oh, and the one who stood alone becomes a seed forever sown. One lit candle, one lit candle, one lit candle, help us save our home.
And now we are moving on to the youth climate category. I'm inviting Sebastian, Olivia, Ohail and Sif to share their perspectives with us on climate change and what it's like to take it in their own hands to do something about it.
My name is Sif and I am 28 years old and I am studying landscape architecture at the University of Copenhagen, and I'm half Danish, half Malaysian. I've also been a part of the Danish climate youth movement.
My name is Sebastian. I study my master's degree here at CBS, where I study management of innovation and business development. I'm also currently acting as president in something called CBS Climate Club.
My name is Olivia, and I'm doing a PhD in physics, where I'm working with cattle and trying to do thermal water splitting.
My name is Rohil. I'm 25 years old. I am originally from Pakistan, but I have lived in Denmark since I was 8 years old. I'm a CBS master's student and I study accounting, strategy control, and I'm also part of the organization called Business as Usual at CBS. But I think for me personally, it's more the intellectual feeling about it, you know, how climate change affects me, because it's the idea of what's going to happen in the future, how it's going to affect our agriculture, you know, our heating and everything.
I sometimes feel a little overwhelmed when thinking about climate change, because I feel that we are now at a place where it's about damage control more than not feeling any of the weather changes at all. But that's why I also think that turning this feeling of being overwhelmed into some kind of action in terms of what are you studying or how are you working, who are you engaging with, how do you talk about this with your friends and family, is something that can really help to that feeling. of doing something instead of just being somehow paralyzed by all of it. Because I think it is really critical, and I think it's something that our generation is more aware of than probably the previous generation.
But we often talk about, oh, what's this going to cost our farmers? What's this going to cost our society? But it's not about that. It's like you have to think about it. Think about what it's going to cost if you don't start making some changes of having solutions that kind of run more smoothly in our ecosystem.
So what I personally do, and I think I see a lot of people in our generation do now, is like, we try and raise awareness for these things, because if we discuss it, if we talk about it, if we realize it, then perhaps change can come.
Well, we kind of have to move our mindset from thinking about our natural resources and our ecosystems as something we can gain from economically to a moral question.
Yeah.
And to say these are things that belong to all of us.
You see where we sit, it's basically dead. These trees, they're all alone, there's no plants around them. Cut down everything to make this nice garden for us to be at. But it didn't have any cost. There's no economic incentive to kind of make the morally correct choices.
If you ask most climate scientists and researchers, they'll say like, most of the things we're doing today, the way they are, it's completely wrong, and we should change it revolutionary.
All of us have to change our behavior, and we also need to not do something. We have to not buy stuff. No, we have to buy less. It's difficult for them to do less.
The organization we all have been a part of engage members and develop the next generation in having this moral compass. What we should actually do was to sit in a room together and talk about how can we make a solution that kind of cares for nature, cares for the whole ecosystem, and then kind of trying to change the demand. We are better at kind of setting some limits and having some demands for how the world should be structured.
I think for me as a landscape architect, I'll be looking really into how to change our cities and how to design them in a way that they can cope with the climate changes that we are already seeing and the increasingly extreme weather, but also to work with the biodiversity crisis, incorporate a different mindset about biodiversity and climate change in all of that, really.
Yeah, so what I'm working with is like we would like to use the power we gain from wind and solar and use that power to make chemicals, components. And the first stuff we want to have is hydrogen, which is like the fundamental. So I'm trying to take water and split it into hydrogen and oxygen, and we can then use the hydrogen to make chemical components and materials and medical stuff and fuel as well.
When I see that there is a change in the mentality when it comes to climate and biodiversity crises, and I think creating these communities within climate activism or workplaces or within research fields that can make a difference, that really gives me some kind of hope. Yeah.
To not be afraid of telling your opinion, but also to meet people where they are. Not everybody will sit and talk about a biodiversity crisis. Like, do you have a crisis? It's crazy to talk about, but that's how it is. And I think it's so important to kind of, meet people where they are and meet different expectations so we don't polarize.
I've been a climate activist for 15 years, and back then it was not sexy to be a climate activist. It's actually quite sexy now. Young people like to be engaged in the climate change, and I think that is positive.
It's just knowing that people care about this, that they want to do something, just being here with you guys, being with other people who think about this, they care about it. I think that's the most important thing, because climate change as it is was brought about by humans, by our actions. And so if we care about it enough, I think we can take actions which can improve the situation as it is. So I think that's the most positive thing for me, to see that people care about it and they want to do something.
And now we're going to watch Olivia in action with her research at Danish Technical University, finding solutions for clean air, hence participating in resolving the climate crisis.
I år 2009 der bliver jeg anholdt under COP15 i København. Det er en demonstration på 100.000, og vi er 1000, der bliver anholdt. Vi står så og danser med Hare Krishna, inden vi sådan bliver taget en af gangen og sat ned i de her futtog. Altså det her billede, der kan man se, at jeg sidder her. Vi sidder der, jeg ved det ikke, nogle timer på en meget kold jord. Der var frostgrader. Og så kommer de her hunde og gør os op i hovedet, og der er politi over det hele. Det var meget traumatisk at være i. Efterfølgende så tænker jeg, at jeg nok skal finde en anden måde at udtrykke mig på, end at være aktivist. Jeg ønskede at skabe løsninger og snakke mindre. Vi kan se, at temperaturerne stiger, havene stiger, vi får flere naturkatastrofer. Vi har brug for, at der skal ske noget. Men det er ikke nok, at vi bare siger, at vi bliver nødt til at skabe forandring. Vi skal finde nogle løsninger. Så jeg ender på DTU Fysik, fordi det er der, jeg tænker, at der er de største muligheder for at skabe nye løsninger til en grøn omstilling. Jeg havde aldrig troet, at jeg skulle tage en boglig uddannelse, fordi jeg har haft rigtig svært ved det igennem folkeskolen, da jeg er ordblind. Og derfor lå det slet ikke i kortene, at jeg skulle studere. Det, der er med at blive ingeniør, det er også, at der er mange andre ting, der spiller ind, end det med at skulle stave eller skulle læse. Altså, man kan stadig lave stavefejl og få gode karakterer. Det er mig selv, der har bygget alt det her oppe. Det, jeg har forsøgt på, det er at lave vandspaltning. Så jeg vil gerne splitte vand til at have hydrogen og oxygen hver for sig, så vi kan bruge brænten. En diesel udleder en masse ting til atmosfæren, og det vil det her brændstof, vi får lavet på grøn energi, ikke gøre. Jeg bliver nødt til at tro på, at det vi gør her, det jeg gør her, det er med til at lave en udvikling. Så jeg går på arbejde hver dag og håber, at det her det kommer til at bidrage, kommer til at have en positiv indflydelse på den lange bane.
I hope you enjoyed listening to the students and what they are doing to contribute to restoring the climate in their own ways. These people are from the Copenhagen area. We are now moving out into the world to watch what students are doing in India and in Cameroon, in their own local communities, using their own local resources to also restore the climate. And they have already created results.
Bamenda Highlands, northwest and southwest Cameroon. Population pressure in the Bamenda Highlands, where most land is used for pasture and food crop farming, was leading to forest fragmentation and biodiversity loss. Traditional farming practices, combined with the effects of climate change, had reduced crop yields to the extent that subsistence farming was no longer meeting the food demands of families. Soil burning for quick vegetation regeneration was depleting soil fertility, and soils were eroding, especially on the slopes, causing rivers in the valleys to silt up and water sources to dry up. The Community Agriculture and Environmental Protection Association aimed to improve the resilience of farming systems and livelihoods of small farmers by spreading the best available sustainable farming techniques. And to help cope with climate variability and long-term climate change, they planned to increase afforestation. The association provided the seeds, tree species and manure to enhance the soil. It helped farmers plant crops on contour to minimize erosion and taught them to conserve and compost organic waste to use as a soil enhancer. They provided systems that capture water during rainy periods for use when water becomes scarce. Farm yields have increased threefold, supporting farm families with surplus for sale at local markets. Watershed and river and creek protection is also reducing soil erosion and improving water quality. A simplified handbook on Cameroon land tenure system has been produced, and workshops have helped women establish micro businesses. The initiative has directly impacted 32,625 people. It's trained 500 innovative farmers and resulted in the planting of 5,000 trees. India. Bharati Vidyapith's College of Engineering, Laval, Pune. Jaggery is traditional non-centrifugal cane sugar. It's one of the oldest small-scale business enterprises in this Indian sugarcane belt. Unlike refined sugar, jaggery is high in vitamins and minerals. Jaggery production, however, is not very efficient. Although the machines run on electricity, without a reliable grid, the farmers need diesel generator sets, and these cause huge carbon emissions, noise pollution, and increase their operational costs. The sugarcane pulp, bagasse, is the fibrous substance left behind after the juice of the sugarcane plant is harvested. This pulp is often not used, but just left to rot. Young researchers at the college set out to design new, efficient and environmentally friendly jaggery-making units. The units have their own solar power and biofuel production. They provide a crushing capability of 30 to 50 tons per day. Smart, heavy-duty planetary gearbox sugarcane crushers improve juice extraction efficiency up to 90%, and this is with zero transmission losses and reduced maintenance, space, and foundation cost. They designed new furnaces that use thick firebricks. These significantly reduce the heat loss in furnace walls. The initiative has directly impacted 2,500 people with rural employment opportunities and more empowerment of women. They are generating 16 megawatt hours per year of environmentally friendly electricity. Greenhouse gas emissions have been reduced by 7%. There are now no power shortages, blackouts or load shedding issues, and diesel consumption is reduced by 90% compared to conventional jaggery units.
And the winner in the Youth Climate category is Bharati Vidyapith Engineering College of Laval. Energy economic self-sufficiency of farmers and women entrepreneurs in India. Congratulations! Ta-da-da!
The College of Engineering won the Youth Climate category with 60% of the public vote. We can really appreciate that these young researchers from an academic environment started to address the local challenge of fossil dependency. This is not just a local challenge, but it's also a global challenge. They were able to take an inefficient, polluting industry, help turn it around, ensure that local industries could have a sustainable income, and even help these industries thrive. We can learn that young people, with their innovativeness and their energy and drive in academic environments, are really important, and that when we harness them together with local challenges, that we can really accelerate moving towards sustainability.
Very much for selecting me for this prestigious award and honoring me with a great award. I am really thankful to the entire Wafa team selection committee and the advisory board, especially Stephen Hinton sir, Dr. Madhu Pillai, Dr. Noruddin Ahmad sir, and Ms. Lena Lemgren ma'am for recognizing my work. At the same time, I would like to thank all my colleagues, friends, research team, especially Professor Dr. Shivajirao Kadam sir, Dr. Vishwajit Kadam sir from Bharatiya Vidyapith University, Pune, India. At the last, I would like to thank you, my family, friends, farmers, farmer producer group who have supported me during this entire research journey. One thing I want to mention here is that I am always ready to support and transfer my knowledge in the field of sustainable energy and agriculture for the betterment of the society throughout the world. At the same time, I would like to dedicate this award to all the farmers and rural entrepreneurs. This award is dedicated to all of you. Thank you very much.
We are now concluding the ceremony. Since 2010, when we did our very first award celebration in Copenhagen, at Copenhagen University, we have received 599 award applications and celebrated 18 winners from countries all over the world. These silent heroes are giving us hope that people can inspire each other via their actions. They can share their solutions towards making this world a better place. A world where all of us have access to the basics: water, air and food. I also want to thank the team, the Wafa team. You have done an amazing effort to make this award event happen. Thank you so much. And our sponsors, you are also part of us. You are also the reason why this award event could happen. Big, warm thank you to all of you. It's very close to my heart to thank all of you who have been helping Wafa throughout the years. Without you, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't be celebrating the silent heroes of 2023. Board of Directors, you have shared your expertise, you have given advice and support. It has meant a lot to all of us, to the team. Selection Committee, you have taken time out of your busy schedules to evaluate the many award candidates, and you have come forward with 12 amazing finalists. And our wonderful voters all around the world who have voted for their favorites, thank you so much for participating. It's been a joy to see the votes come in and come in and come in. So exciting. Our patrons, Your Highness, Crown Prince of Selangor, Malaysia, Tengku Amir Shah Ibni Sultan Sharifuddin Idris Shah Al-Hai. Sustainability and youth development in your role as patron of the Raj Mudha Foundation really, I find, is so important. Youth is our future. They will participate in restoring our precious, precious climate and our planet. And by supporting them, you are part of a very, very important transition to the next generation. I really sincerely thank you. Your Royal Highness, Princess Basma bint Ali of Jordan, founder of the Royal Botanic Garden in Jordan. Your work with restoring biodiversity and helping people in need restore their livelihoods is extraordinary. It's so admirable. It really gives me hope. I think it gives many people hope, and I truly hope that so many other countries will be inspired by your work. Visiting you in the Royal Botanic Garden was an amazing experience to actually see with our own eyes how you are restoring all the species, all the plant species, so that there will be a wonderful future, a wonderful ecosystem in Jordan. Your keynote speech for Wafa was so heartwarming. I had so many people contact me in order to express their gratitude for your heartfelt words towards Wafa. I thank you so much for being part of Wafa. Professor Virginia Lee Erimita of University of California, Los Angeles. Your emails, full of love, full of kindness, full of encouragement, has really made a difference. They made me smile, they made me laugh, they made me, and the whole team in fact, feel encouraged to move on. And then you invited us to China to visit the projects there you are supporting. Children who are restoring their own livelihoods, or what can I say, who is growing food sustainably and feeding their schools. What a wonderful way to grow up. Your work really makes a difference. Thank you so much. Mr. Prem Rawat, it's been wonderful to receive your support. It's been so needed, it's so cherished, and it's a huge part of what Wafa is today. Your keynote speeches at some of our award events have inspired so many people around the world. And it's very clear now that peace comes first, then prosperity. I also remember when we talked and you said, realize, understand how important recognition is. I didn't quite understand it at the time. Now I know. The award winners, they thrive. They attract resources to scale and to replicate their solutions. Even governments, in some cases, come forward to make their projects a national program. Giving recognition has been such a big part of their progress. It strengthens them inside, it strengthens their motivation, and it attracts resources, the resources they need. I really do know now the value of recognition. It is just so big, so good. Thank you so much for envisioning Wafa and for sharing your wisdom, your wit, and your commitment You reach so many people all around the world, millions of people, with your message of peace. Big thank you.
In a world of ordinary people, we know extraordinary ones. In a place of insanity, we see true humanity. Oh, in mothers and fathers, and daughters and sons. Against the odds, they come together, so we may thrive, free of despair, and answer to our prayer. One town, one village, one city at a time. Silent heroes in the mist, let's bring them to the light. Silent heroes among us, and now is the time to align. It's time to rise up, come together and shine.
Well, what really makes me want to do this is because there is a real need. There is both a need to spread the very good solutions for water, air and food, and there's also a need to convey a message of hope.
I think you're an inspiration. Your work is not just limited to your own geographical position, but through the WAF, you've made it available for everyone else.
It's time to hear their voices and reward their choices.
We need good shelter. We need clean air. We need clean, good, nutritious, sustainable food. And we need to stop completely contaminating and overusing the most incredible resource that we have, that is water.
Mothers and fathers, daughters and sons, silent heroes in the mist. Let's bring them to the light. Silent heroes among us.
Wafa Awards is a unique global award platform that gives recognition to people across the globe who are making pioneering initiatives that are low-tech but can create global impact by scaling them.
Not blaming, but taking action, having this opportunity in our lives, and being a part of this incredibly noble cause. So I applaud all of you.
It's time to rise up, come together as one.
You're most welcome to participate in Wafa's work. Together with the Silent Heroes, together with the team, associates and friends. You can go to our website, send us an email, and let us know that you want to be part of making a difference. Thank you for watching.